Watch all the action of Candlepin Stars and Strike. Brought to you by the Thompson family of dealership, the Tri-State Megabucks, and the New Hampshire Lottery. Saturdays and Sundays at noon on WNDS. Candlepin Stars and Strikes is brought to you by the Thompson family of dealerships in Nashua, New Hampshire, and by Tri-State Megabucks and the New Hampshire State Lottery, helping New Hampshire schools one ticket at a time.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome into another edition of Candlepin Stars and Strikes from Leda Lanes. In Nashua, New Hampshire, Dick Lutz with Mike Morin. We continue on with our Tournament of Champions. Craig Holbrook's run of a couple of wins came to an end last week.
He had a great three-week run, but then he ran into Jeff Surette, who now takes on Mark Gregory today.
Let's meet our bowlers who are competing this afternoon in our latest edition of the Tournament of Champions. Last week's winner by 375 to 371 over Craig Holbrook, Jeff Surette of Tewksbury, Massachusetts.
Averaging 128. High single is 202. Best triple 475. Bowling out of the lanes. He grew up in Candlewood and North Reading.
He's our number 3 seed. He rolled a 400 in the ladder championship series to earn that number 3 seed. And as I mentioned, a 375, 371 win last week over Craig Holbrook. He takes on our number 2 seed from Beverly, Mark Gregory.
Coming in with an unbelievable average of 134. High single is 192. High triple is 505. He bowls at Metro Bowl in Peabody and Park Place in Windham, New Hampshire.
And the winner of this match moves on to the championship match next week against top seed Chris Sargent. So let's get right to it. It's the Tournament of Champions. When we come back to Leda Lanes, it's Mark Gregory and Jeff Surette coming up next. Don't go away. Well, we began with 6 of the finest Candlepin bowlers in the world, and 3 have gone by the wayside. Craig Holbrook won a couple of matches, beating Hugh Ferguson and Dave Hodge, before running up against Jeff Surette last week and losing by 4 pins, setting up this afternoon's match against second-seeded Mark Gregory, with top seed Chris Sargent waiting in the wings. Jeff Surette will be first to bowl here at Leda Lanes this afternoon before another great crowd on hand to watch the 2005 Tournament of Champions, and we're happy to have you with us for Candlepin Stars and Strikes.
This young man was the winner of the Tournament of Champions, Dick, 2 years ago, I'm sure you recall. We joked with him that with all the money he won, he wasn't even old enough to buy anybody drinks afterwards. But he is now at 22 years of age. Just turned 22 in February.
And just became a daddy.
Yes, on March 31st. Carly Elizabeth, his daughter's name, and mom is Kristen. Congratulations to both Jeff and Kristen.
Good first ball.
Oh, my. It looked better than that, didn't it?
Sure did.
Find a way.
Thanks again to Bob Foraker, who was our special in-booth guest last week, old-time friend of yours and certainly of Candlepin Bowling.
It was fun to have him, wasn't it?
It sure was.
He gave a superlative performance.
Yeah.
Oh,
look
there's
at that.
the shot by Jeff Surette. You never know what's going to happen in Candlepin bowling. A pin in the gutter can be forced out of the gutter and cause some damage, and that one did. Great shot by Jeff Surette. Now Mark Gregory, our number 2 seed from Beverly, averaging 134. That's staggering. High single 192. Co-owner of the Maine State record from 505 triple with Craig Holbrook. Bowling out of Metro Bowl in Peabody and Park Place in Windham.
Wow.
Mark's a mailroom coordinator for the Automobile Insurers Bureau of Massachusetts. And a 10 box.
Hit the triple strike jackpot for $700 back in November 21st.
We talked a while back, Mike, about bowlers using the spots as opposed to using the pins. Here's a good first ball. I was handed a piece of paper prior to the taping, and it lists as Candlepin spot bowlers, among them Dave Richards, Cookie, Babe Carrington, Gary Duffett, Mike Morgan, Dick O'Connell, Steve Reno, and Dave Hodge, who was with us last week. I didn't ask Dave about it, but
Well, we brought that question up a couple of weeks ago. In fact, I think we may have been talking to Mark Gregory about that very thing. Because some bowlers pin bowl, some area bowl, and some spot bowl. The ones you just mentioned, spot bowl.
I have a newer technique. It's called prayer bowl.
We're going to see how that worked out for you today. Before our second string, it'll be boxes number 7 and 8 of the Dick and Mike Grudge Match, 6th annual at the Rock and Bowl, Pilgrim Lanes, back in February, all part of a fundraiser for the kids that went to Canada and did pretty well. They won a lot of awards.
Jeff Surette with a 6 in the spare. And he turned his back on that one as soon as it left his hand. And that'll be an 8 box for Jeff. There you get a look at the big crowd on hand here at Leda Lanes. They were here early this morning. They stay through the 5 shows that we tape on the Tournament of Champions. They love it. We love having them here. Just a great group. Nice to see Bill Muldoon back.
Bill Muldoon, who moved to Florida about a year ago.
Is he 85?
About 85. He, of course,
had
like
a birthday recently. There he is in the blue shirt. You see him right there just behind Jeff Surette.
A lot of people, including him in Florida, having a lot of difficulties and hardship with all the hurricanes they had last summer. Hurricane Charlie did Bill in, I'm told.
Mark Gregory looking for his first mark. Right on the head pin and straight through. Not much you can do about that. You throw a ball, you know when it leaves your hand, it's got a shot at being a great ball. It's right on the head pin, and if it's too full, it just punches out like that. Spread eagle. Take 1 on the right side.
Big out here, Mark. Come on.
Last time on TV as the number 2 seed. It's a 6 box. He defeated Mike Yao and then Bobby Betancourt, 403 to 388 in the Ladder Championship Series. He had a triple strike jackpot, $700 in a 183 game on his way to a 450 triple. That was in November. 6 WCBC Pro titles, 5 Massachusetts state titles, 11 New Hampshire state titles for Mark Gregory, an impressive resume in his career as a Candlepin bowler. Still looking for his first mark. That'll be a 10 box.
1 mark between these 2 bowlers in 8 boxes so far, and that was Jeff Surette in the second frame.
An early 7-pin lead for Jeff Surette with that mark.
Boy, the splits just keep on coming.
Right on the head pin, but too full. Will it go? No, it won't.
Give you a few more stats, Dick, off the last season. Winners of the championship ladder series by seed positions. 3 bowlers came from the number 1 seed, 2 from the number 2 position, and 1 from the 3rd spot, and nobody from the 4th or 5th position won a championship this year.
Goes to show what the advantage is to being a higher seed. It's hard to march all the way through to the top. Another split for Jeff.
How many 400 triples do you think we had this year? Considering that we had a total of 48 3-game sets bowled. How many 400s do you think?
10.
Very close, 11. Last year, 17.
Really?
Scoring has been down, though, as we pointed out a couple of weeks ago. Scoring is down over 4 pins a game this year. Reasons unknown.
Well, I have to check with Ray Simino or Sean Howard and find out what they're putting in the pins. If they're nailing them to the ground. Of course, Ray is the owner of Leda Lane, Sean the manager, and their staff does a great job for our tapings on the Tuesdays that we come here to Leda Lanes to tape Candlepin Stars and Strikes. They roll out the red carpet literally. The coffee and donuts are here early. The fans get here early. And a camaraderie develops that is really One of the bright spots, one of the great things about this experience that you and I have had.
And our dressing rooms are second to none.
Mine's the only one that has a star on the door, though.
I'm working up towards star status. Maybe if I beat you this year in the grudge match, I can get a star.
Mark Gregory right in the pocket. Now is a perfect 1-3 pocket shot.
And a chance to move ahead with a spare and a good fill.
There's the spare, the first mark of the string for Mark Gregory. Good shot by Jeff. And he answers the spare with a strike. Ron Profit from Wayland, Massachusetts sent us in a note. Enjoy your program very much, and he tags onto it. Whoa, will it go? Won't go. An article, but I don't know what the article is from. Money Magazine, I guess. Is that what it is? Money Magazine. About duckpin bowling. There's a spare for Jeff inside the strike. Duckpin, of course, bigger in the mid-Atlantic states. Maryland, Delaware, Baltimore, Washington, in that Delmarva Peninsula area. Well, they continue to fall. He'll put 6 in the spare.
Got some wood to work with, too. Not great wood, but it's close enough to the 7 that it might just nudge something over. Missed the object.
Come on, have a stick.
And not unlike Candlepin bowling, this article points to the fact that a lot of the duckpin houses in that area have fallen by the wayside. 8 box for Mark.
A lot of cases, the bowling centers were generational from one part of the family to the next, and the kids were not interested in running a bowling center. So that's one of the reasons some have gone out of business. Certainly the profit motive, and you can't blame people for taking $1 million or $2 or more.
I think that's a significant factor. A lot of the bowling centers were built in what is now prime real estate areas and developing areas. The land becomes worth so much that it just becomes more profitable to sell and turn that into a profit and into some other investment on the part of the owner.
That's your retirement right there. You don't imagine that was the thought when they first opened it up, but that's what it turns out to be.
Good 10 box for Mark as he methodically gets both sides of the spread eagle. 79 for Mark Gregory through 8. Jeff Surette has 92 plus a ball. And here's the ball right straight through the middle. He almost had a spread eagle, but not quite. And that 8-pin in the back moved over a couple of inches.
Jeff has a new job. He's with FedEx, a route driver, after many, many years working at Candlewood Lanes, where he learned how to bowl. Spent a lot of years in his youth. His brother Scott is 13, and he was an all-events winner in the Canada Triptych back in March. The kids that went up from Pilgrim. He was an all-events champion in his class and age.
Well, Jeff's got a couple of choices here, the wood on the left or the wood on the right. He's going to the right, trying to bounce it off the wall. Look at that 10-pin. It almost stood up. He's at 113, 114 first string for Jeff Surette. Now Mark Gregory will close out the first string.
A couple of marks with decent fill, and he could win this game.
Well, Mark would certainly make it close. Breaks up the split. Got a spare opportunity here with the 3, 6, 10 on the right and no wood. Mark enjoys golf and softball when he has the opportunity, and he picks the 3-pin cleanly off the 6 and the 10. And that'll be a 9-box. 88 through 9. He'll need a mark to break 100. He got a break that time. He didn't throw a great first ball, and look at that, they're still falling.
All right, here we go. Come on.
So the 6-10 with a piece of wood, although the wood is set up in such a way that it could go right by the 10 and leave it standing. So watch out. Be careful. Nope, he got them both.
Drop the hand there. Come on.
A mark in the 10th frame, 98 plus a ball. So we'll have a horse race going into the 2nd string. What will it be? Good first ball. It'll be an 8-pin fill and a 106 for Mark Gregory in the first string. An 8-pin lead for Jeff Surette over Mark Gregory as we head to string number 2. It's the Tournament of Champions from Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire. You're watching Candlepin Stars and Strikes. Well, when we last left the grudge match, I had a 2-pin lead over Mike Moran after 6 frames, and I was ready to apply the clincher. I think that was just a 10-box right there.
It was just a 10. That's right. That's Mike Sargent's ball, by the way. There's Sarge entering or exiting. For some reason, I don't know why I didn't use his ball in that shot. Look what happened.
Yeah,
very impressive.
There's a 5-box.
10 and a 5.
Oh, you were ready to be had, weren't you? Huh?
I was.
Yeah.
Laying low in the weeds, waiting for you a lot.
And I'm ready to apply the clincher here.
Let's see.
Oh, man. Just brutal.
It is painful to watch this. I apologize for you folks at home. Look at that body English.
So 57 bucks and a 965. So I have a 3-pin lead over Mike with 2 boxes to go.
What do you
Headed
think?
down the home stretch.
Next week.
Place your bets now. We're ready to go with Mark Gregory set to bowl leading off the 2nd string.
Now, if we could convert those to golf scores.
That is painful to watch.
Oh, God.
Man,
it'll all be over soon.
I need to lose 20 pounds immediately. Mark Gregory, first ball, 2nd string, right in the pocket.
Okay, Mark, you're right back.
Piece of wood right out in front. Hit the wood on the red stripe, and the spare is yours. You got a little room either way.
This coming from a guy who has got 65 through 8 boxes.
I can talk a good game, and I know the strategy, and I know what should be done. It's the execution that I have a problem with.
Well, you are leading after 8 frames. You won last year. This could be the first 2-year-in-a-row streak anybody's had over 6 years.
Oh, good first ball. Look at that 5-pin dancing, and there it goes. That pin moved about 4 inches before it finally went over. I think Marker's ready to run down the alley and
I think
knock it over if it didn't fall. So Mark opens the 2nd string with a pair of marks. Let's see if Jeff Surette answers with a half whisker.
Now, what does Bob Foraker call that?
This is the bunny hole.
Yes.
He's looking for the bunny hole. He threw a good 2nd ball and almost converted the spare. That'll be a 10 box. Jeff's kind of interesting. When he misses a tough shot, he comes back, walks back to the line talking to himself. I wonder what that conversation's like. And you wonder what he's saying. He's always muttering. Here's another one. Watch him as he comes back. He'll be talking to himself. Oh, the pins continue to fall, though, so he's a little happier than he was before. Now he's got a spare opportunity with the wood setup. This wasn't as bad as it first appeared to be. He's got a shot at it. Oh, he did not hit it where he wanted to.
All right, got to grind.
So that will be a 10 box for Jeff Surette.
Come on, Mark, you load it up. Big time here.
Mark Gregory is working on 2 marks in a row, looking for some bonus money. $50 in bonus money for 3 marks in a row. You get a good look at Mark and his intensity. Good first ball and a spare opportunity. $50 shot coming here for Mark Gregory. Can he sneak it by that piece of wood? I think he can. He's got it. That's a $50 shot. And Mark's on a roll right now. 3 marks in a row for Mark Gregory to start out the second string.
Runner-up money today is $800. The winner will go on to the finals of the Tournament of Champions against Chris Sargent. The $2,000 top prize next week. $1,100 to the runner-up. So over $3,000 at stake, plus whatever bonus money these bowlers can pick up next Sunday.
$50 in bonus money for Mark Gregory. It stops right here. He's not able to convert the spread eagle. He threw another good ball on that first ball in the 4th frame, right on the head pin, just too full and straight through. And an 8-box. Candlepin Stars and Strikes from Leda Lanes in Nashua, presented in part by McMulkin Chevrolet, Nashua Mitsubishi, Nashua Hyundai, and McMulkin Cadillac, all part of the Thompson family of dealerships. Nashua. There's a strike for Jeff Surette. That didn't take long, did it? And we're also sponsored in part by Tri-State Megabucks and the games of the New Hampshire State Lottery. Looking for 2 in a row. Oh, how did that pin stand up?
Had that happened to him last string, but I think it was a 6-pin instead of the 4-pin.
He buried that in the pocket. Everything else went down so fast, and the 4-pin still stands. And the 4-pin still stands.
He'll be annoyed at that.
He has to settle for a 10-box. He knows it could have been more. We'll take a break with Mark Gregory having jumped into the lead by 5 pins over Jeff Surette as we approach the halfway point of this match. As you watch the 2005 Tournament of Champions from Leda Lanes in Nashua, this is Candlepin Stars and Strikes. Mark Gregory has a 5-pin lead over Jeff Surette as you look at the crowd here at Leda Lanes in Nashua. They're here for our 2005 Tournament of Champions. Waving home to you. Wave back at him now. Mark Gregory straight on through, another spread eagle.
Looking back at some of the interesting statistics this year, we had bigger degrees of variation than we have in past years. For instance, here's an interesting stat. I don't know what it means. The average age of our bowlers this year was 41.4. That's up 8 from last year. We've never had more than a 2 or 3 year swing.
Up 8.
Up 8 years on average this year. Now, one thing to consider is we did not let bowlers reappear for 3 sets after being on one particular ladder series. They had to sit out a couple. So perhaps some of the bowlers that would have been coming back that perhaps are a little bit younger didn't. And we had some other newer bowlers that were a little bit older. The youngest bowler is Jeff Surette, 22. And the oldest bowler this year, we saw him a few weeks ago, Hugh Ferguson, at 57. Bill Treefel also 57, but Hugh Ferguson older by about a month and a half.
Played it to the outside of the head pin. Couldn't get it to go. That's a heck of a 10-box. Jeff Surette on lane 34 at Leda Lanes in Nashua. We talk about Leda Lanes a lot, and I know that you know that's where we are, but if you've never been here, I would encourage you to take a ride by, sometimes stop in. Always plenty of open bowling. 36 lanes, all well maintained. The place is spotless. Ray Simino and Sean Howard and the staff do a terrific job here, and they've got a great staff, very helpful staff, very knowledgeable staff. And then if you've never been Candlepin bowling, give it a shot. You'll find out it's fun. Used to call Don Gillis's old show on Channel 5 Fun for All Ages, and that's what Candlepin bowling is, fun for all ages. You don't have to be big, you don't have to be strong, you don't have to be athletic to have fun bowling with Candlepins. The balls are a manageable size. You don't need to be a weightlifter to lift a bowling ball.
Yeah, they weigh as much as 2 pounds 7 ounces. That's the maximum weight. A lot of them at your bowling center be 2 pounds 3 ounces maybe. Can handle that.
You know, a lot of times people who go 10-pin bowling for the first time, they have to take some weight training before they get out and go bowling.
Once you learn the hang of it, though, it's all technique, because the balls, although compared to Candlepins, are heavier. It's really not as bad as you think it is. I got to get you out on a 10-pin lane sometime.
Haven't done it in years. Nice shot by Mark Gregory.
Load it up.
For the spare.
He had a 2-pin lead going into this frame in the match overall.
Good first ball right on the head pin. Breaks up the split. Yes, he does. Look at all that wood in the middle of the deck. There are 5 pieces of wood still sitting on the deck in the middle of the deck.
Oh, don't
Will
tell
it go?
me.
Will it go?
Tell me. That nearly went.
Wouldn't that have been something? It didn't look like it was going to have enough to even get the pin to move. Mark right on it.
Lucky it was wiggling. I think it wiggled in the direction of the ball when he threw it. And he
2
knows
marks in a row. Jeff Surette right in the pocket. There it goes. Like a thundering herd. Jeff Surette looking for 2 in a row. No, watch out for that. Oh, that pin just spun around and missed the 7-pin. A piece of wood out front appears to be clear to have a shot at the 7-pin. There it is. So the bowlers are warming up, aren't they? This is good stuff. And we're glad you're watching it.
Both these bowlers in the top 10 WCBC final standings of tournament action this year. Mark Gregory at number 5 and Jeff Surette at number 8. That's out of all the bowlers in all 6 tournaments, with the lowest of their 6 being dropped, so it's really the best 5. And Jeff Surette number 8, Mark Gregory number 5. The top bowler this year was Sean Baker. No surprise there.
5 pins still standing for Mark Gregory. Another 9-pin drop in a spare. That's the second one in a row. Looking for $50 in bonus money. He's right on it.
Come on, load it up now. Let's go.
So Mark, who had a 106 in the first string, has 6 marks thus far in the second string with a box to go. Threw it past the head pin. Got a pretty good break. Could have been a lot worse. Put 6 pins in the spare. The 1, the 3, the 8, and the 10. There are a couple of pieces of wood on the deck that will not hurt him. He's got a shot at it. Oh.
Oh, it ain't over yet. Push it.
As Bob Foraker told us last week, one of the phrases that he used was "take a friend," and that almost was the case there. 10 box and a 143 second string for Mark Gregory. After a 106 first string, that's a 249. Here's Surette. Missed the head pin on the left side. His
Not bad, Jeff.
pins still fly around the deck. Put 7 in the spare. Oh, he almost got it by accident. A pin flipped over to the other alley. Did you see that?
Yeah, it's in the gutter on lane 33 on the right-hand gutter.
That'll be a 10 box.
Went to clear the pin, and the ball ricocheted off and went into fair play. Of course, the pins are reset.
We apologize that we haven't been able to show you replays. Our replay machine has had a technical issue, and we have been forced to live without it. And unfortunately, you've not been able to see some of the great shots on replay here this afternoon. Jeff missed it. Oh, he stamps his foot to the ground. And he'll take a 9 box and a 125 second string for Jeff Surette. A 10-pin lead in the match for Mark Gregory over Jeff Surette, heading for the 3rd and final string as we continue with the 2005 Tournament of Champions from Leda Lanes in Nashua. You are watching Candlepin Stars and Strikes. Jeff Surette will bowl first in the 3rd string as he trails Mark Gregory by 10 pins. Surette, the number 3 seed in the Tournament of Champions. Gregory, the number 2 seed. The winner takes on top seed Chris Sargent next week for the championship. Look at this. Will it go? Oh, it goes! Jeff Surette converts the spread eagle.
Well, there's a shot we might see 2 or 3 times over the whole year. 144 strings, and we'll see it just a couple times.
And as I mentioned at the end of the last string, I'm sorry to say our replay machine's not working. We're not able to show it to you again. That's one we would have liked to have seen one more time. Jeff will not make this spare.
That is one of my favorite sights in bowling, is the spread eagle converted.
And a 9 box. Mark Gregory will try to respond now to Jeff's opening spare.
The 1, 2, 9, and 10, and there's no wood to help Mark Gregory. Not an easy shot.
Got a note from Donna Manjarsi. I want to say it correctly. Donna Manjarsi. Her dad is John Manjarsi. He's been an avid watcher of Candlepin Stars and Strikes for years. He's tried for years to get his postcard pulled in the bonus ball contest, but you haven't pulled it yet, Michael.
Sorry about that.
I would appreciate you wishing him a happy birthday, a happy 90th birthday. April 16th was just passed.
Yep.
And to quote the show, keep on bowling. Sincerely, Donna Manjarsi, John's daughter. And Donna is from Billerica, Massachusetts. And happy 90th birthday to John Manjarsi from all of us here at Candlepin Stars and Strikes.
Maybe today we'll pull your card. So Jeff is going to get a couple pins back to make this match less than 5 pins.
Well, he picks up 6 right there. Right?
Yes, he does. Down to 4-pin lead for Mark Gregory.
Jeff right on the head pin there, and there's a strike. So Jeff found the range on that one.
Jeff got here by beating Mike Kucha 400 to 370 on October 17th. He was our first ladder winner back when the season began in the fall.
Missed the head pin.
He won the 2003 Tournament of Champions by defeating Mike Morgan 362 to 316 2 years ago.
Open in the 4th. Put an 8 in the strike. And a 9 box. Mark Gregory on lane 34. Needs a mark to maintain his lead. Good first ball right in the pocket and a lot of action. The 4-7 piece of wood between the 4 and the 7. One simple key here, hit the 4-pin.
At least you can't chop this one off.
Nope.
If you do, it's time to get a new new game.
There's the spare for Mark Gregory as he answers Jeff Surette's strike in the 3rd. Like two heavyweight fighters standing in the middle of the ring, they're slugging it out. Just past the head pin. Look at this backdoor action. And a spare opportunity for Mark. He picked the head pin off of it. Wow. Left the 3-pin standing, so he'll be open in the 4th. And a 10 box for Mark Gregory. We go to the break. Mark Gregory with a 5-pin lead. 6 boxes remain. It's the semifinals of the 2005 Tournament of Champions. As you watch Candlepin Stars and Strikes from Leda Lanes in Nashville. We'll be right back. Here you get a look at some of the crowd here at Leda Lanes watching the Tournament of Champions. Jeff Surette on lane 34. Trailing by 5 pins with 6 boxes remaining. Which of these bowlers will explode down the stretch? Jeff not able to convert the split there. That's a 7 box for Jeff. That hurts. In a close match like this, pinning is very important.
Congratulations to the 6 winners in both the men and women's categories in WCBC tournament action this year. We'll tell you who the women winners were. Christy Moore, Lynn Thompson, Ricky Justice, Judy Bowden, Ricky Justice again, and Joanne Rosano for another title. And the men she's got already.
Nice spare for Jeff right there.
And the men, Craig Holbrook, Mark Gregory, who won his tournament right here at Leda Lanes last fall. Gary Carrington, Sean Baker, who ended up being the bowler of the year, Stu Bergman, and John Zappi. Those are your winners in the WCBC this year. Male bowler of the year, Sean Baker. Female bowler of the year is Ricky Justice.
All of those, a lot of those people have been on our show. I'm trying to, have we seen Stu Bergman on our show?
Stu we have not seen. We have not seen Stu. We hope to see him soon, though. Next season, perhaps.
Mark, let that one get away from him. That's a 10 box. He'd like to have that shot back. Now he's up against a Jeff Surette spare in the 6th frame. If he wants to keep the lead, he needs to match the spare. Crossing over to the Brooklyn side. The 3, the 5, the 6, and the 10 with no wood to help out. Not an easy shot. He's got a shot at it. Oh, look at that. He leaves the 6-pin. Everything but the 6-pin.
Chris Sargent waits in the wings to see who his opponent will be next week. Chris Sargent at 497 to get to this position, the top seed in this year's Tournament of Champions.
10 box for Mark Gregory. Well, he leads by 8 minus whatever Jeff Surette puts in his spare. So 8 to tie, 9 to take the lead with the first ball for Jeff Surette right here. The lead belongs to Jeff Surette.
That was a nice break, leaving only the 3-pin and no wood to help or hinder.
He's right on it for a spare. 2 marks in a row. Jeff moves over to lane 33. Real pocket shot and a strike. That's a $50 shot for Jeff Surette. And it puts the pressure on Mark Gregory.
Those 2 boxes were huge for Jeff Surette. The match had been pretty even for almost the entire duration, and now Jeff Surette is finishing strong.
Mark Gregory needs to mark. That goes without saying. Good first ball. Oh, look at that, a 7-pin tap.
Okay, all over it, Mark. Come on.
The 7 still stands. Right on it. Good spare from Mark Gregory. That's a clutch spare. Now he's up against the Jeff Surette strike in the 8th frame. Wouldn't it be something if he threw a strike here to match the Surette strike? No, he missed the head pin. Puts 5 in the spare.
And not an easy conversion. 4 horsemen, left side, 9-pin, back row.
Missed the head pin, so he'll pick one out of it. He'll be open in the 8th. Jeff Surette will have the lead.
And a commanding lead with just 2 boxes to go.
That's a 6 box, and that hurts. The lead for Surette is 10 with 2 boxes remaining.
10 and 2 balls.
And 2 balls. That's correct. Working on a strike. Correct. There's the first ball. Tough shot here.
But no loss yet because you don't count it until the 2nd ball is thrown. But this is not an easy spare.
No, it will not be a spare, so it's a 17-pin lead for Jeff Surette with 2 boxes remaining.
Mark Gregory is still alive.
9, 124. He's alive, but just barely. If Surette doesn't mark here, then the door will be open for Mark Gregory.
Well, there's a 17-pin difference in completed boxes.
Right.
Which is substantial with 2 frames to go.
If he misses a spare, Mark Gregory has a shot. 4 horsemen right side. There they go. Wow.
No doubt about that one.
What a great shot. They all went down in unison, didn't they? 6th mark of the string for Jeff Surette. He's at 134 plus a ball. We give $50 for the high string. And the high string still belongs to Mark Gregory, who had a 143 earlier, as Jeff's 5-pin fill gives him a 139. 41 pins.
Needs a double. Mark Gregory needs a double. Best he can do is 377 with spare, strike, spare. He can still not get a strike here and win, but somewhere he needs a double strike.
Look at that. He threw a great ball, and the 8-pin still stands.
Out of his way.
He needs to make this.
Yes, he
and then
cannot
needs
win.
To throw a double.
Cannot win without making this. And the spare means nothing if he doesn't put a strike on it.
Now there's the spare. Now, simply stated, he needs to make 2 strikes.
Yes.
Drop the ball, baby. Come on, drop the ball.
Jeff Surette's taking a seat in the back row. Mark Gregory needs to make a strike. Threw a great ball. Here's one.
Yeah, way to go.
Simply put, 1 more strike
Same ball.
and
Let's
2
go.
pins. He wins.
Same ball, baby.
Mark Gregory needs to make a strike.
Look at that determination. No,
Missed the head pin.
yeah.
Watch out, it's not over yet. They still could fall, and they're not going to fall.
It's
so
over
it's
now.
all over, and Jeff Surette is the winner. So Jeff Surette will advance to take on Chris Sargent for the championship of the 2005 Tournament of Champions. We'll watch Mark finish up as he's got a shot at some bonus money right here if he makes this spare. He does not. He puts an 8 in the strike. And a final of 126 in the third string for Mark Gregory. 378 to 375. A 3-pin win for Jeff Surette over Mark Gregory. And Surette advances to the championship against Chris Sargent next week. We'll come back to talk to our boulders when we return to Leda Lanes for Candlepin Stars and Strikes right after this. A 3-pin win for Jeff Surette over Mark Gregory in the semifinals of the Tournament of Champions. We have to go right to the bonus ball contest in the interest of time. Mike Morin will reach into the bucket and pull out a card that belongs to Therese Pino of Derry for $20. Jeff Surette, she wants you to knock down 7 pins. See if we can do it. Jeff won $50 in bonus money. Mark Gregory won $800 for being the runner-up and another $100 in bonus money, $50 for having the high string in the match and $50 in bonus money. So a $900 payday from Mark Gregory, and up the ladder we go. Next week, Jeff Surette in the championship match.
That's right. It'll be Chris Sargent. Really a clash of the Titans. Hope you can join us.
We'll look forward to seeing you as well as we reach the end of the season, the finals of the Tournament of Champions next week. Chris Sargent against Jeff Surette. For Mike Morin and the entire crew, I'm Dick Lutz. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time on Candlepin Stars and Strikes. So long, everybody.